All right,
There we
here
go.
we are, Schmack and McGob, and it is Almost Human Live with Wayne and Ralphus and a very special guest, Mr. James Rivera from Hellstar.
What's
And
up?
how you doing, James?
I'm doing very well, actually. To be honest, I can't complain. Life has been pretty good so far. You know, just doing my thing, and yeah, doing very well, I
Well,
guess. Shows have been starting up. I'm getting out and playing more. I feel more like a musician again instead of a salesperson behind a computer board and a telephone all day. I work from home, but
Uh,
still, it's finally happening and we're out there destroying everything and people are loving the new record, which makes me and us very happy.
yeah, and it actually comes out tomorrow, right?
Yes, tomorrow is the birthday,
That's right.
so I'm going to make a little cake for
yeah, I,
it.
I gotta tell you, James, I got an advance copy and I'm gonna order it. It's coming out tomorrow. Cool. Man, what a smoking album. I mean, I was really
Yeah.
taken aback. I mean, I knew it was gonna be good, but I didn't know it was gonna be that good. You
Thank you. See
know,
that's the reaction we're getting across the board. And then again, when you tell yourself after 9 years, it better be damn good,
uh,
lazy bastards. Yeah, yeah.
it,
Especially,
it, it's. I mean, the whole album. I can't say there's a bad song on the album, but what a bookmark. The first song, "Devil Masquerade," and that last song, I can't remember the name. My God,
I am the way.
I am
Yeah,
the way.
yeah.
Those are two smoking great, bookends to an awesome album, man.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, that's what we were shooting for was to create one of the best records ever because of the long years that it took, and there was plenty of reasons for that. But mainly, we when we put out a new record, we always go, how are we going to top the last record? And we're self-conscious of that because we don't want to put out something weaker, and we don't want to put out something that sounds the same. We want to go over and beyond, and that was our goal, was to do that.
Right on.
yeah,
You,
definitely.
you seem to always be progressing, like every album progresses.
Yeah, it's typical Hellstar. We're never going to be a straightforward band, unfortunately. Yeah, if we were to write AC/DC records, we'd have one out every 6 months for you guys instead of 9 years. But it doesn't work that way with us. We have to take our time and figure out where we want these certain parts and what is this. Sometimes Larry will just send me music and he'll say, "This is the title," and I'll go, "Oh, well, what's the song about?" He goes, "It's about this," or "This is what I was thinking." Then I'll do some research and I'll go, "Oh, that's what he wants me to write about." Then I'll come up with some lyrics and a melody and a pre-chorus and a chorus, and I'll send it to him and he'll go, "Dude, that's what I was thinking." Like, all right, so we're always on the same page no matter what. And we've been writing together for 45 years. So we think a lot alike. We have the same heartbeat and we have the same souls. And that's the mystical, magical thing about Berrigan and Rivera. We
Mm.
just know how to write together and make each other happy. And what's more important, the fans are gonna love this.
Oh,
That's the other thing, Yeah, the listeners are gonna like this. They're gonna go, "Wow, this is Hellstar on steroids," you know?
Yeah, definitely. I think so.
I
It's
only I
a
only
really good
listened
album.
to the I only listened to the one song, the single for the title track, but it seemed like a great continuation from what like Vampiro was, I think it's like definitely on the same lines as being as just as heavy and stuff from the one song anyway.
Yeah, and it's different from Vampiro because Vampiro is an excellent record, but um, it just has its I can't explain it, but there's just this power in it that we don't understand how we keep producing this as we get older. Because usually when you get older, you tend to wind things down. Yeah, I think I'll write a love song about my cat. No, we're not gonna do that. Yeah, yeah. I love you, Laco, but sorry, there's no room on this. We have to become more aggressive. That's our attitude. Like,
It,
because we're getting older, it's kind of a point to prove. It's like that movie, Grumpy Old Men. Yeah, let's just show them that we're not old and washed up. We're writing stuff that young bands wish they could come up with and be like, how in the hell did they pull that out of their ass? It's like,
Mm.
when you have a hemorrhoid my size, it's easy, but
yeah, you're one of the few bands that just keeps getting heavier throughout the years for such a long career. Like, Judas Priest got like really heavy in the last couple of years with their
yes.
albums, but you guys definitely like kind of in that same thing where you just gotten so much heavier throughout the years.
Yeah, and I think like I said, it's part of it's a mission, part of it is just coincidentally and how we think and how we feel at the time when we're writing new material. And then when you start getting into the subjects of the songs that you're writing, the only way to go is to get heavier. Like, wow, that's a sick movie. It has to, you can't write it. I mean, we're not going to have Barry Manilow do guest vocals on it. I mean, no, it's just got to be darker and heavier. And we have a knack and a gift for being able to do that after all these years, but keep it traditional. It's Hellstar right out the gate. As soon as you hear it, it's like, oh, all you got to do is hear the first riff, and then once my big mouth opens up, oh, that's James Rivera. Yeah. So it's kind of cool that we can do that.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Speaking of
Hell yeah.
guest people, you have some guest musicians, Robert Lowe and George Cole, and a bunch of other people on the last song, "I Am the Way." How did you get them all involved to be on the song?
Well, we've all been friends since since the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor. So we have a close relationship.
Mm,
I mean, I talk to them personally on the phone,
mm.
just for shits and giggles,
Right, right, right.
So I called each one of them and I told them my idea. And right out the gate, dude, I'm in. Oh, hell yeah. Are you kidding me? I'd be honored, so that's how it happened.
Yeah.
But the idea came from Dio, We're Stars, when he
Ah, okay.
collaborated all those musicians, but I kept it Texas.
Mm.
Yeah, we're Texas proud. We eat a lot of barbecue down here. I'll tell you what, God damn it. Yeah, so and when I thought about it, there's a lot of singers that could have been on it, but I couldn't make the song 20 minutes long.
Right, right.
But I had to go with the ones that been there since the day the band was born in San Antonio, Texas. Now, that is the real South Texas metal scene, which is why we created South Texas Legion. It was Hellstar, San Antonio Slayer, Watchtower, Militia, Carry On, and so when you go think about that, look how much success Jason McMaster has had. Look at Rob Lowe. I mean, Travis Willis is in Crimson Glory now, for God's sake.
Right.
You see, so it was easy for me to pick the prime Texas singers and not have other singers be hateful and be like, "Well, dude, what about me?" And no, not one of them did. I
Mm.
said, but there'll be another record. There'll
Right.
be another one of these. So give it some time, but I had to start here.
Right.
And that's how that all happened. It was just a dream that I had, an idea to represent the best Texas heavy metal singers.
Very cool. Yeah, it's a good idea. I really like that song a lot. It's good. I mean, all the songs on the album are really good, but that one stuck out because there were so many, people that I listened to other bands, that they do. So, very, very cool idea.
The
And you
Black
can hear it.
Wall.
You can
Yeah,
actually
definitely.
hear each one's parts like very clearly. And that's what I liked about it,
Yeah,
was that you could tell especially when Rob Lowe starts singing in that bridge, you could tell it's
yeah,
him.
he's got an undistinguishable voice. Yeah.
The Black Wall is another kind of like standout track on the album. You have any story behind that? That song's really, really good.
Well, that's about The Conjuring. So it's, yeah, about, again, evil spirits, demonic possession, and that kind of thing. And Larry wrote that as well. And so that's what that song's all about. And so when he wrote it, he wrote the melodies and the lyrics to that as well. And but then the more we got into it, we started changing some things around. But and then I just watched the Conjuring movies the other day because there's a new one out,
Mm.
and I think the weird part about that is that it is based on true story, supposedly,
Right.
but we don't know. And it goes back to Amityville Horror.
Mhm.
So, in a nutshell, when you think about the concept of this record, which it was never really a concept, but it is now,
Hmm.
the majority of it is about horror movies. Yes, and I get to throw in my vampire stories too, but most of it's about demonic possession and evil spirits, which is weird. So if you think about the title of the record, The Devil's Masquerade, well, what? It's his greatest party ever. Who, everybody, welcome, come in. We have champagne, we have wine. When you leave, you'll be possessed, or you'll get bitten by a vampire, or you'll become some walking demon, Have your choice. So in a way, it is a concept record. It's loosely a concept record.
Right.
But yeah, the Black Wall, The Conjuring, it's a pretty evil series.
Yeah, the Warren couple there, they're the ones that they wrote all their stories down. Now
Yeah,
they've been making so many movies from them and
and
continuing
and
it. And I
the
guess it's
Conjuring spawned off The Nun. So you see,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's a big thing. So that's why it's called the Black Wall. Like no telling what's behind there.
And you got another song, the Devil's Masquerade. It's about the doll Annabelle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go. There's another subject.
Right.
Everybody thinks it's about the devil. No, it's about the doll.
Mm.
She was possessed. So there you go. Another story about possession and an entity entering a physical toy.
Mm.
It's just, terrorizing the family. So it's crazy. But Larry wrote that as well. So he's got a very ingenious way of writing things, and he wants the listeners to go, I wonder what that's really all about.
Mm.
'Cause, you don't hear too much about the devil in particular. You just hear about this power that's taking over.
Right.
My favorite line is that it's 3 a.m. Your heart starts to race. Well, and I said, "Oh, that's a cool line." He goes, "Well," and then he stopped after we were recording. He goes, "Oh, by the way, you nailed it. Sounds good." Okay. He goes, "But he goes, dude, midnight is not the witching hour or the devil's hour." I go,
Mm.
"Really?" He goes, "Dude, it's 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks it's 12 midnight, but it's 3 a.m. So at 3 a.m., if you go to the cemetery and start fucking with shit or whatever you want to do to conjure up something, it's going to show up." And I was like, oh, I never knew that. So yeah, 3 a.m., folks, not midnight.
Yeah. Yeah, I get spooked when I wake up at like 3:30 at night, to go take a pee because I'm getting old now. So of course you gotta get up to go
Yeah.
pee.
And then you
And
hear
I'm like,
something, it's
yeah,
like,
I'm like,
oh, what was that? Yeah.
yeah. Oh, he's
So
got it
now,
down
like
right
on
there.
Halloween, at 3 a.m. the day before Halloween, I'm going to go outside and go, what do you have to show me? Because 3 a.m. the next day, Halloween's over, right?
Right,
Yeah,
right.
so
Yeah,
it'd be November the 1st.
that's
So
right.
you got to go out
The
on
day before.
October the 30th.
Yep.
Yes. And if you really want to talk to the devil, dude, I just wanted to meet you. I want to hear your side of the story. What happened between you and God? Really, what happened, man? Were you that beautiful? He didn't like you playing music? No, man. I was trying to do everything I could, man.
I was misunderstood.
I was misunderstood. Yeah. And he grabbed me and threw my ass out, man, with all my friends and my band. That was kind of fucked up, dude.
Have you ever done any like paranormal investigations or anything? Are
No,
you
I
really
never
into it?
have.
Yeah.
I did do some stupid shit when I was young, and I would go to the cemeteries at night, and I used to write a lot of the old Hellstar stuff, you know. And actually, I think I was there at 3 in the morning, but I was there like all night,
Mm.
and I did weird things like that. I was fascinated with death and afterlife and what really happens to people, because supposedly I am a reincarnation of a sister of mine that died in 1959. Her name was Gloria Rivera,
Hmm.
and she wanted to be a singer, and she got crushed by a wall at a high school, and our junior high school, I'm sorry. And my mom lost her mind. The weird thing is, she was so religious and Catholic. She was going to go to Rome and become a nun,
Hmm.
real nun. Well, when that accident happened, yeah, of course, she was involved with the church and everything. So the priest had to come to the house, calm down my mom. And she actually went into a nut house for a month
Wow.
because of this accident.
All right.
And he said, look, Gloria's going to come back, but she's not going to be the same.
Hmm.
What do you mean? She's going to be the opposite. And then here comes James with a weenie. Here comes James going, I want to sing in a band called Hellstar, you know? And then all of a sudden, you know, when the career started, my mom got so into it that back then we used to have this store called Foley's, which it doesn't exist anymore. I think it's kind of Nordstrom's now. She went and bought all the black curtains, all the black bedspreads, and decorated my room black the way I wanted it. And she goes, Gloria's back, but stronger than ever. So she went along with it. And, you
Right.
know, when I hear that story, it is kind of weird when you talk about paranoia, you know, but supposedly, and here's the weird part. I wish I had a picture of her. I had it in my old apartment.
Hmm.
I do look exactly like her. And Larry agrees. He goes, that's pretty scary.
Yeah.
So I used to go there to talk to her and
Hmm.
be like, what happened? You know, I'd love to know who you are.
All right.
And I would feel this energy. Then I'd get a tablet, start writing. Oh,
Hmm.
thank you, Gloria. I'm leaving. Well, one night, stupid me, I took some acid. I lost my way out of there and I started freaking out, seeing all kinds of weird stuff, you know, and I'm like,
Right.
oh, I'll never do this again. Yeah, some red glowing eyes. And I'm like, okay, I played with too much dead.
Yeah.
And that's a true story. So yeah, I'm
Wow.
proud that we
Wow.
got to put that out there.
Man, wow, that's crazy, man.
I seen James. I saw. Oh man, had to be at least over 10 years ago. No, even more than that. You and a Judas Priest tribute band came down to South Florida. You remember that?
Yes,
Yeah,
Sabbath, Judas, Sabbath was, and it's still around.
that's right. You played Black Sabbath as well.
Yeah, yeah. It's a Black Sabbath Judas Priest tribute that is known worldwide now because I have chapters like 5 in the US and 4 in Europe. And I go out and do that once in a blue moon, you know, because because yeah, I like to stay busy. The more busier, the better for me. When I'm idle, then I find myself at the damn neighborhood bar too much, and I don't want to do that, you know. So I'd rather get drinks for free and good food. So yeah, I mean, but it's been dormant for a while, but it's picking up again now.
Right on. And I saw another rare one. Curious how many shows you did with them. You played Fort Lauderdale as well with Flotsam and Jetsam.
Yes, I did.
How many,
Those
sho-
were some good times, man.
how many shows did you do with them?
Did it was the whole U.S. tour, and that happened by a fluke of things because of Eric KK he wanted out of Flotsam for a while. He went country actually, and they had just put out a new record. The whole tour was booked, and he just said, "I'm walking out. I ain't doing this." And they're like, "Well, what do we do?" So Craig, at that time, Craig Nielsen, he called Metal Blade and said, "Hey, man, we don't want to cancel the tour. What do we do? Did we get a replacement guy?" And my old buddy Mike Faley, who's always been around forever, as he was our manager for a long time, and he works at Metal Blade. He says, "There's only one guy I can think of that can do the job. He's got a very thick New York accent." "Who's that?" Fucking James Rivera, Hellstar. He can do it. I know he can do it. Really? Well, can you call him? So he calls me. He says, James, what's going on? I go, oh, I just got home from tour, man. You saw it? Yeah, I saw you were out there touring with Hellstar. Yeah, doing your thing. Well, I got some news for you. Yeah? How would you like to sing for Flotsam and Jetsam? What the hell are you talking about? Just got home. He's like, yeah, well, there's Eric quit and they got a tour booked and I know you can do the job. Don't let me down. And I'm like, oh, hell yeah, Mike. He says, hey, I'll call Craig. So then I call Craig and I go, hey, Craig, it's James. And he's like, oh, dude, I've been dying to hear from you. And I talked to Faley and Slagle and he goes, oh, you down? I go, well, hell yeah. I mean, that's another notch in my belt. Sure. But when does the tour start? In 2 weeks.
Were you familiar with a lot of their songs? Like,
The old stuff, yes, I
okay.
was. I was a big Flotsam and Jetsam fan.
Yeah.
And then I said, "Oh my God!" I said, "So, I mean, what do I need to do?" He goes, "Well, you need to kind of get here like now, so we can start rehearsing." And I'm like, "Dude, I just got home from tour, so I didn't even unpack." And then I said, "Look, just give me 2 days." He goes, "All right, I'm gonna overnight you a cassette of the set list that we're doing." And he goes, so did we fly you out? And I said, you know what, man? So that I can learn the material, I'd rather drive to Phoenix from Houston. I said, it's 18 hours, but think about it. That gives me 18 hours
And listen to it.
to listen to it.
Yeah.
He goes, you serious? I go, yeah. I said, it's cheaper than a flight. He goes, all right, well, I'm gonna send you some money and you for gas and so you'll be up here what, Friday? I go, dude, it's Tuesday. I mean, if it's that important, yes. He goes, dude, because we really need you here now. So that's what happened. I got in my car and I drove to Phoenix, Arizona, listening to the whole set list. But it was a newer set list. So the first rehearsal, when I got in there, we did Doomsday and No Place for Disgrace and Escape from Within and all that. And then Jason said, let me see that set list. We're rewriting this whole thing. This guy can sing the old shit, man. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. I didn't even listen to these songs. He's like, but you can do it, man. Come on. And guess what, though? The whole time that I rehearsed with them, Eric KK came to every rehearsal as support. And he would
Wow.
sit in the corner and listen, and just be like, and you could see a smile on his face.
Mm.
And then after the last rehearsal, he goes, dude, if it was anybody else, I wouldn't want them wearing my shoes, but you're badass, bro. Thank you. And I was like, wow.
Yeah.
So our first show was in El Paso, Texas. I mean, I got up there and just had to do what I had to do, and the rest is history. And that's when you saw me. So by the time we got to Fort Lauderdale, dude, I was already well, you know, educated and well rehearsed.
No, no, it was an amazing show, and it was bootleg because Blabbermouth ran it.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Blabber, Blabbermouth ran it like 10 years after the fact.
Wow.
Because and it was a freshly somebody recorded it.
Yeah.
The guy that recorded it looked a lot like me, and uploaded it on.
It's probably you. Yeah, yeah.
It might have been.
I upload. I mean, he uploaded it on.
Yeah,
YouTube.
yeah.
Like 10 years later, I did. He did it, and it was on Blabbermouth the next day. I was like, "Holy shit!" It's like video footage of James Rivera with Flotsam and Jetsam, like 10,
Yeah. So it's on YouTube right now.
the whole thing.
That was a good show. I was on fire that night because I had got plenty of sleep. I was like rested, and like I said, by then I was very well rehearsed and educated with everything. The first few shows were a little shaky. All the Pantera guys came to the show in Dallas, and they're like, "Whoa, we got to see this fucking Rivera and Flotsam, Texas boy." Yeah, let's go give him some fucking ups. Bring him some goddamn barbecue. Yeah. But it was an amazing venture for me as far as things I did in my career, and and I'm very grateful for that, and I love the Flotsam guys. And now that they have the real Flotsam, we finally got to do Hellstar and Flotsam shows in Europe. And man, Eric is such the coolest guy in the world. The whole band is,
Yeah.
and we get along very well. It was a great package. We did a couple of shows in Europe together. It was like what Tom Hanks says, it's like peas and carrots, mama. We got to go see Flotsam and Hellstar. I agree. Let's go.
Was there ever any talks about if Eric didn't come back, you would maybe be the permanent singer and carry on? Do you?
Well, they were starting to send me material
Mm,
because we didn't know at that time.
no.
Uh, the only problem that I think that, mimicking him as basically I was kind of a tribute singer.
Right.
And so I studied him so much that no, there's no way I sounded just like Eric.
Yeah.
It was the signature parts that I made sure always shined, which was mainly the really high notes
Mhm.
and certain ways that he said things.
Right.
But to be the singer for Flotsam, I don't know if that would have worked. I think that it might have backfired. Maybe. I don't we don't know that
Right.
because he came back. So
Right.
once he came back, now what do you need me for?
Right.
I'm sorry.
Exactly.
I was just the whore that you guys used. That's all right. My ass hurts. Okay. I love you though. I'm trying to figure out whose baby it belongs to. Is it yours or yeah, I don't know, yeah. No, in a comical way, but it was kind of a thing that I would have been intimidated to take that duty,
Yeah. Yeah.
but I would have done it because I've taken big on duties before. And I think that if he indicated he was never going to come back, and if you guys ever wanted a new Flotsam and Jetsam, then get used to it and accept James Rivera, period.
Mm,
But after that tour, I think that 90% of the following would have been like, dude, we saw him live and he killed it, man. I mean, you almost couldn't even tell the difference. So he's in. It would have been well accepted, I think, too, as well.
yeah.
But you always have those haters out there, like,
Oh,
no,
I'm sure. Yeah. Well, because
yeah,
he's been the original singer, so it's like it's hard to
exactly.
replace
And
somebody
he's
who
and,
used to
and
be your
he's a trademark of the band, his
Yeah.
voice.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep. Definitely. I have a couple friends there. Flotsam is their like favorite band, so I'll tell them about this later.
yeah.
I can watch it.
Did you know the Flotsam guys before you did the tour or what?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, sort of briefly, we all kind of knew each other. Matter of fact, Craig was living in Las Vegas for a long time, and he came to see me with Vicious Rumors and one of my tribute acts. So he came to all my shows. He was a really good friend, and he was a big fan. And his nickname was Bam Bam, because he plays drums so hard. And anyways, he would come to the shows. So that's kind of another thing that started it was that when he called Mike Faley at Metal Blade and Slagle, and they both said, dude, James Rivera is probably your best bet right now because there's not a lot of singers like that anymore. At that time, you have to remember that. A lot
Mm,
of the high singers were gone
right.
because, a lot of us were either out of the business or we were barely alive but he's probably the guy for the job. And he's like, well, I know James. That's Gomez. He called me Gomez, and I called him, Bam Bam. I called him Herman Munster. So, and he said, "Oh man, yes, he would be perfect." And that's how it all happened. But yeah, I knew him. I had met the rest of the guys. I knew Jason Ward very well. I met Eric a couple of times here and there, but I think that when I joined the band is when we all became real friends.
Mm,
And I still talk to all of them all the time. So it's a beautiful thing.
very cool.
So since you are from Texas and from the '80s, you must play gigs or seen gigs with Pantera with Terry Glaze, right?
Yeah, they opened for us.
Okay.
It was Hellstar and Anthrax.
Wow.
Yeah. That was in the 80s when they were still a glam band. They weren't
Mm,
quite the band that they became.
right.
But they were all over Texas at the time, weren't they? Like,
Yeah, they were very heavily playing the club circuit, everywhere. And I think that they pretty much started out like a lot of us do as a cover band, playing a bunch of good covers and then sneaking in your originals here and there, which is how we started. And the rest is history. But yes, they were around for a while
Yeah.
in the 80s.
Right
We had
on.
a question earlier. You probably answered this, but on the first Hellstar album, you're credited as Bill Lionel. Why was that?
Okay. Well, so the band I was in before Hellstar is called Scorcher. And I we were playing like a lot of Scorpions, Judas Priest, Crocus, stuff like that.
Mm.
Hellstar was the biggest rival. Okay, there you go. The count knows. The count knows. Hellstar was our biggest rival. The reason why was because we were both from the same region, especially high schools and neighborhoods.
Mm.
And there was, back then there was in every band that you're in, there's always that, oh man, fuck those guys, we blow them away. There was always that, yeah, yeah, we're better than them, yeah. Anyways, so we both played this battle of the bands, and we both lost, and some other glam band won. So Hellstar lost, we lost. But our Hellstar was already playing Iron Maiden, Number of the Beast, and all that stuff. So they were way heavier.
Mm.
And in Scorcher, I don't know how it started, but they used to say, and I think it might have had something to do with Saturday Night Live. So instead of saying, "Hey man," we always said, "Hey Bill." Hey Bill, hey Bill, you want to go to the show tonight? Yeah. Or, hey Bill, you need another beer? And hey Bill, and hey Bill. So when I joined Hellstar, I brought it with me. And I'd be like, "Hey Bill, are we gonna do that song again?" And Larry be like, "Why does he keep calling me Bill? My name's Larry." And Joel, the one guitar player that brought me in the band, he goes, "Oh, it's a joke, but he's the real Bill." And so the bass player would say, "Yeah, that's Bill." So they stopped calling me James altogether.
Oh
They're like,
wow.
"Bill, Bill." And then so when the president from Combat and Carl Kennedy came to produce the Burning Star record, they're like, "Why do you guys keep calling him Bill? We thought his name was James." And they're like, "Oh, it's a joke, blah, blah, blah." And the president goes, "I kind of like that." And he goes, "So what's your real name?" I said, well, my real name is James Rivera. You have a middle name? I go, "Yeah, James Lionel Rivera." He's like, "Bill Lionel, that's what you are." I said, "Well, okay." He goes, "It sounds like an important individual, man. Like Lionel Richie, come on, Bill
Right. Yeah.
Lionel."
Yeah.
So that's what we're going to call you. And I said, "Oh, so they kind of gave me already a stage name."
Right.
I ran with it because I'm young. I'm not going to argue with this guy. And I said, "All right." So the next thing you know, the album comes out and it went huge, especially in our hometown, right?
Mm.
So my sister goes to work. She's bragging, "My brother has a record out. Look, it's worldwide and blah, blah, blah." So her coworkers, they go buy it. And then one secretary comes into her office. She goes, "Hey, I don't see James Rivera on this record." I said, "Bill Lionel, this, da, 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 da." "Oh, well, he's Bill Lionel on the record." "Oh, right." So they thought she was lying. She calls me. She goes, "How could you do this? You fucked up. Why did you let them call you that? Nobody believes that you're in the band." And I'm like, "Oh, shit." And then we have this very powerful Hispanic community in Houston called LULAC. They supported Hellstar big time because, yes, unfortunately, no, no, not unfortunately, proudly, we were a bunch of Mexican Americans. Yeah, that's what we were called back then before they started Latino. And I don't know what that other fucked up word is, but yeah, we were Mexican Americans, right?
Right.
We were born in America. We were raised in America. We speak English very well. No, we don't need green cards because we were born here. All right. Yes. Yeah. And, we came from the barrios. And so the LULAC was the Latino something society that were very proud of Hellstar, and they got upset.
Mm.
So the president of the company said, "Is it your heritage you're not proud of?" I said, "No." I said, "It was a joke. I didn't mean it that way because you are." And he didn't say Rivera. He says, "You are Rivera." I go,
Mhm.
"Yes, I am James Rivera. If you want me to roll it out, where's my enchiladas, damn it?" Yeah. So I said, "Yeah." And then they go, "Well, we just wondered because why would you change your name to Bill Lionel?" And I'm like, "Man, all right." So when we got re-signed and we did the next record, I said, one thing I do have to do. I have to go back to James Rivera, period.
Yeah.
Okay, no problem. AKA Bill Lionel.
Yeah.
So are you guys okay with that? Like, absolutely, no problem. I said, okay, because the Bill Lionel guy, you know what though? I do use that name when I book shows as a
Oh,
separate
yeah.
promotional company. So it works for
Ah,
me. Oh, but
okay.
don't let them hear that up there because yeah. Oh, that's James calling me. Yeah. This is Bill Lionel, manager for Hellstar. How's it going? Yes, we'd love to come do the show. It'll be $5,000, 3 hotels, and we want lobster and steak for dinner. Yeah. Hi, I'm James, the singer for the band. Just want to make sure that we all got everything taken care of. So, anyways, what ended up happening is the label said, okay. Then Remnants of War came out. And if you look at the back of Remnants of War, it says James Rivera, AKA Bill Lionel. To not confuse anybody.
Yeah,
Well,
that you
guess
weren't in
what?
the band anymore. Yeah.
Nobody paid attention to it. So
Really?
I'm doing interviews, especially from Europe. There it is. And like, I am so and so from Germany, blah, blah, blah. And then, by the way, my first question is, how did you find a singer that's so close to Bill Lionel, but a little better? Oh, a little better. So Bill Lionel sucked on Burning Star. I mean, Bill Lionel was okay, but James Rivera just cleans house, man. And I'm like, because you're talking to Bill Lionel, dumbass. It is
I always
me.
thought Bill Lionel was like when you were in your human form, and then
Yeah,
James
well,
would
you
come
know what?
alive
That's
at
another good
night. That's what I
idea.
always thought it was.
I like that, but no, it was more along the lines of that. It was the
Yeah.
fact that they thought that I was a whole different person, and I wasn't. I am Bill Lionel. Sorry to disappoint you. Oh, I'm so sorry. Well, but your vocals have gotten so much better. No, you said Bill Lionel sucked. I ain't gonna forget that.
James Rivera is a much cooler name. Bill Lionel
Yeah,
sounds like
just
he sounds like a
It
guy
sounds like I belong
sounds
in a
like a
soul band.
yeah, like a used
Right,
car
yeah.
salesman or something. Huh?
sounds like a guy that cleans up a glory hole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another last song I'll mention off the new album. Every song's great, but "Corpse of the King," that
Mhm.
riff on that song is just cutthroat, man. Is that
Uh,
another part of the loose concept of the album? "Corpse of the
it's
King."
it's one of the greatest songs on the record. And guess what? It's the song that the bass player Garrick Smith wrote. So, yes, he surprised the hell out of us. He wrote that song. Andrew Atwood wrote the lyrics and the melodies and everything. So that's why Andrew still gets credit on it for sure. But it's Garrick's masterpiece.
It is.
And he said, I have one. Just give me time. And sure enough, dude. But you know what? Aside of I Am the Way, The Devil's Masquerade, a few, like you said, The Black Wall, but Carcass for a King is just, it's it's an anthem. It's just a epic song.
Oh yeah, no, it grabbed me. It was.
And it's loosely written about the fall of Lucifer and a king vampire. So you see, it has its little story as well. Because Andrew never really explained to me what it was about, but he goes, it could be about a vampire. But when I read it, it sounds to me like about the fall of Lucifer. So we haven't gotten together to talk about it over a beer, but I mean, I just think it's a beautiful, epic song.
Right.
And you know what I like about that song? in particular is that in the bridge, I got to use my, because we always try different things, but we don't want to steer away too far. Yes, I'm a very big Gothic fan, obviously. Uh, I got to use my Peter Murphy, Bela Lugosi, Boris Karloff stuff. I used to be an angel. I used to be your fool. Yeah. So it's kind of cool and it fit perfectly. And when we recorded it, Larry was like, "Oh my God." He's like, "Dude, Messiah from Candlemass would be so proud of you." And I'm like, "Yeah." And then we kept it. Then, of course, we doubled it and did all this stuff to make it sound even more um, dramatic. And if you guys notice that on this record, I did a couple of choir themes that I never done before. I did it in Seek Out Your Sins, and I also did it in Stygian Miracles, where we just recorded myself 100 times, and it sounds like you're at a cathedral. I have never done that, and so I've always wanted to expand to that, and that's what I'm saying is sometimes you want to do something a little different to make it fresh and go, wow, Hellstar stepped it up again. What are they gonna do next? Sacrifice a real person and then have it recorded. No, an evil person. Yeah, yeah.
Do you have songs left over
Hey,
for another album? I'll hold on a minute, Ralph.
yeah.
I'm sorry.
But the Count wants to talk. He's
I
my
know.
cousin. Yes, yeah, yeah. He's been waiting and coughing, but now it's okay. Do we have other songs?
Yeah. Do you have any like
Uh,
leftover songs for like another album? Or
Yeah, now that we learned our lesson, Larry's been busy already with some other stuff.
okay.
And I don't think the world's going to have to wait for another 9 years.
Hmm.
It might be two, which is probably about normal.
Yeah.
Maybe one. We don't know.
Yeah.
But because of the chemistry that we have right now and how fast we did this record, we see like doing another one like this and not rushing it. Like no, like I said, I don't want to put out an AC/DC record or another Iron Maiden record. We want it to still be better than this one, but
Yeah.
I think that we know now where we're going with everything. It lines up, and so I think that now, in peace, we can write the way we want to write. That's what it all comes down to.
Very cool. Okay, Count, go ahead.
So like a week and a half ago, you were one of the headliners for the Rage of Armageddon Fest down in Brooklyn.
Oh yeah.
And the next night, I went to Saturday night show, and I went to the Duff's alcohol abuse center afterwards, and I ran into you, and I grabbed this picture with you. It was like really late at night, like I don't know what time it was, but it's under these like red lights. That's why it's crazy looking red. But
Yeah.
you were pretty lit at the time. I told you, I said I'm gonna be in part of an interview with you in like a week and a half, and you were like, "Oh yeah." But I seen you at the end of the night getting walked out by Ed Farsley and some girl, and they were making sure you were getting back to your hotel okay because they didn't want you just wandering around out there.
Yeah, well, I get like that sometimes. I have a good time, and then, as like I said, as you get older, you kind of sort of just you get wrapped up in everything. So yeah, we got back to the hotel okay. Then we ended up having another drink or two. I think we got some food, and the next thing you know, we passed out. And then the cab came to pick us up to go to the airport. And I was like, but then I was all spunky the next day. I was like, all right, let's go. All right, everybody up. They're like, wait a minute. 3 hours ago, you were like, oh, that's yeah, I love you. Woo! I started a joke. That started. And then now all of a sudden you're like Mr. Sergeant in the fucking Marines. Let's go, guys. We got to get up, Yeah. That was pretty
How'd
weird.
you feel that the night went when you played when you ended up headlining? I
Oh
watched the
man,
live
it was
feed.
it was beautiful. The show was amazing, man. It was the crowd was all into it, man, and they were actually singing the new songs already, so some of them already heard it at Hell's Heroes.
Mm.
And yeah, the energy was there. It was like, and Ed said, man, this guy, dude, I mean, this band is just, you guys are just, this is your record. This is your time now. You finally, we waited 40 something years. Uh, we wrote a masterpiece, and what we need to do now is just concentrate on producing it live night after night and just send everybody back home and go, oh my God, this is it, and that's how it starts. And then with these interviews that I'm getting with you guys, uh, Metal Hammer Grease earlier today, another radio station earlier, um, and they're just piling up and piling up and piling up, and I'm going, whoa, hold on a second
Yeah.
now. I do have to work.
Any of the bands from the 80s that stuck it out or have like a cult status now, and they all
Yeah.
seem to finally be appreciated the way they should have been back in the day. But
Exactly.
Yep.
just the politics of the music industry back then. But it seems like any of the bands that stuck it out, even if they only got one or two original members, they're worshipped now, especially over in Europe. They're dying to see those bands that
Oh,
never
dude,
toured
I,
over
I
there
have
that
a
much.
feeling that I think every show we do is going to be nearly sold out or at capacity at least. I don't think there's going to
It's
be
awesome.
a night where I'm going to be like, hey, by the way, do you guys have J.C. Penney here? What's that? It's a department store where I can go rent some mannequins so we can have a crowd. And so I don't think that's going to be the case. I think that all the shows are going to be, especially in Greece,
Yep.
and Spain, Germany and Belgium. I mean, we're playing the main markets is what we're doing, where we're worshipped, and I think that's why my booking agent, he did it the way he did it. And so I think that we're after this, record in the new year, uh, South America is in line. I have a feeling that the band finally might get to that other tier. And what I mean by
Yep.
tier is like at least an Exodus. You know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
okay, they find, but it took this long
Yeah.
because I mean, we tried, we worked hard, but sometimes the community doesn't get it. The heavy metal audience doesn't get it. They're like, dude, these guys are over our head. Only people like you are like, dude, they're one of the best metal bands out there. But
Mm.
it's ignorance, and it's also what the masses shove down you. But I think a lot of bands are going to be afraid to play with Hellstar as a support act. Like, I don't know if we want them on. Yeah. Are you talking about those? Are you talking about that Texas band? That fucking, yeah, yeah, the vampire guy? Oh, I don't know about that. Yeah. Well, no, but hey, when you're a big headliner, it shouldn't matter. But my dream is to one day be direct support for Judas Priest and let them see what we're about. And then they'll be ready to retire and go. I could see Rob going, I don't know why I didn't think about getting you guys to open up for us years ago. But now it's too late. You're retiring. Well, I'll
Right.
tell you what, we'll get you on a couple of more shows. How about that? Yeah, I mean, because he's a very nice guy and he's very into metal,
Mhm.
and he acknowledges good metal.
Yeah.
He's not yeah. So, or even Iron Maiden, I mean, just one day to be able to do that, and yeah, we opened up for Anthrax, Megadeth, and all that, but for those guys, just one day, just one show, so
Mm.
we can show the world what
You,
we're
you seem
really
like
all.
you would fit so good with Judas Priest. I
Yeah.
think
Oh
like
God,
there's
yes,
times where I hear Ripper and Halford in your voice at times. It's
Yeah.
like and I mean Bruce Dickinson. I do hear at times too in a way. I
yeah.
mean because there's such an Aiden feel to a lot of the music. But I can see you guys perfectly going along, and the fans would love that. Instead of them bringing
At
whatever
least,
stupid band they
yeah,
bring.
one show with Judas Priest is all I ask. That's it. You know what? And it would be like metal, the metal dream of all time. Hellstar and Judas Priest. Wow. Yeah. Finally.
And have like a primal fear or some another kind of
Yeah,
band that
another
fits
one of
that thing
those.
opening
And
up.
yeah. Well, hey, I'm glad I got to live to 80 and see this, but it's happening.
That I mean,
We'll
obviously,
all be in walkers and shit. I'll have diapers and everything, you know.
obviously you've been this is your 11th album, and with the band really not getting this like a big success, have you ever felt like you wanted to stop doing it?
No.
No.
I mean, what am I going to do now? I mean, really, Wayne, am I going to become a doctor?
Right.
Am I going to go back to college and become an accountant or whatever? If I was a doctor, I'd be like, okay, Wayne, can you show me where it hurts? Because I can't see anymore. Well, the pain's right here in my chest. Oh, then I'm pointing at your leg. No, no, sit a little higher,
You're like a
James.
terrible doctor.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
By the
God.
way, since I bent down and I pointed at the wrong place on your leg, can you help me up a little bit? There you go. Yeah. Oh, it's up here. Mm, it's probably gas. Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, if you think about it, what am I going to do? No,
Right. Right. Yeah.
I'm stuck doing what I'm going to do till I die. And,
Yeah.
and you know what? I'm fine with that. I
Yeah.
love it. I'm just kind of like, well, you know what? I'll go out in metal when I can't hit high notes anymore, which will probably be in another 15, 20 years if I'm lucky,
Mm.
and then stop doing metal. Then I'll get a gig on a cruise ship. I'll tell you what, hey baby, we're gonna go out tonight. Woo, da 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 da. And then I'll die on that cruise ship, and then I'll say no funeral, just throw my ass over the ocean for shock food. All right,
Yeah. Yeah.
keep it simple. You know what I mean? Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's where I see myself. To be honest,
Yeah.
I see myself doing what I do forever. I have no choice now.
Mm.
I chose that road. Was it a good decision? Was it a bad decision? That's hard to say, depending on what you really wanted to achieve in life,
Right.
or what you want to own in life, or what materialistic things really matter to you.
Right.
But personally, if I lived under a bridge right now, I'd be happy doing this interview with you guys on my phone instead of a computer, and
Right.
be like, hey, I'm still doing it.
Mm.
And you know what? I don't need all this stuff. I
Yeah.
don't need this little cool black Nissan Sentra. I don't need this little 3-bedroom house. Yeah, it to me, uh, just being able to do what you want to do is the most important thing in life,
Mm.
because you'll always go back and regret things you didn't get to do.
Yep. Exactly. Yep. That's how I feel too. I do three bands myself. And, people always say, are you making money with it? And I'm like, not really, but I have fun doing it. So why am I going to stop?
Well, yeah, I mean, I
I
make
have a
money
real
doing other
job.
things. So
I
yeah,
have a
it's
real
not
job.
important.
I'm doing this on the
Right.
side because I love doing it. So why,
I'm the biggest drug dealer in America. What do I
that's
care?
right.
I got money. Don't worry. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm part of the Colombian cartel, man. Yeah. Yeah, anyways, but no, it's funny, but yeah, I mean, I think that a lot of us musicians at our tier, like Hellstar, Jag Panzer, I mean, even Sanctuary, Nevermore,
Mm,
they never really hit that other tier. I think that we keep doing it because of the fact that we love it.
yeah,
That's just the way it is. I mean, yeah, we love playing, we love touring, we love writing new music. We love delivering things that makes people's hearts glow.
mm,
And this record is making a lot of people's hearts glow right now, from what I've seen. And I'm just very, very humbled by it. Like, wow. Not one bad review, not one bad interview, not one hater for a change. I'm just waiting, like, okay,
It'll
no.
be that one that hasn't come out yet. It'll be
Yeah,
there.
there'll be that one, yeah. I was a little worried when I did one in where was it from? Bulgaria. But
Mm,
it was a language barrier. It's the questions he was asking. He was asking them in a way that made me feel like he was interrogating me. But
yeah.
it wasn't that. It was just because he probably had to break it down in a translation.
All right.
And everything is why, why? Like I don't know why I take a shit at 3 in the morning. I just do, yeah. I'd love to explain that, but maybe I should stop eating at McDonald's on the way home from the bars or something. I don't know, but yeah, but why and why, you know? And
Well,
I'm
you want
like,
to get up and see the ghosts. So
yeah, yeah. At 3 in the morning, I wanted to
yeah.
go meet the devil.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I take a shit at 3 in the morning, you know? Yeah.
Hellstar is not the smallest fish in the metallic sea, though. Because I'm not gonna name bands, but there's a bands I love that aren't at that tier of Hellstar. Hellstar ain't super low. I mean, they're known, and I gotta tell you, James, the first time I discovered Hellstar, there used to be a record store called Dan's where they only sold metal. It was paradise to me. It only lasted about 6 months, but
Wow.
but I went there and I saw the CD for Distant Thunder. Never heard of you guys.
Right.
I'm looking at it, I'm like, should I buy? And I look at the back and I go, oh, look, it's a bonus track. Oh, he's a woman, she's a man. All right.
Yeah.
And that's what made me take a chance. I go, well, that song rules.
Yeah.
And man, when I played The King is Dead, when that song started, I was like, oh man, I made the right choice here. Then I bought this masterpiece right here.
Oh, yes.
Tell me about
That is the beginning of what we were considered the masters of technical power thrash metal. That was the album. Yes, it was. And it was way ahead of its time. But when it came out in 1989, the metal scene was dying. Grunge was moving in. Guns N' Roses was already huge. The LA scene changed completely, and we just kind of got washed up. If they had sent us to Europe on that record, I probably wouldn't be sitting here talking to you guys. I'd be coming to your houses on a personal jet and talking to you personally. Oh yeah, I got this interview set up with Ralph Wayne and Count Ralphus. Oh yeah, so what days? Like, well, they want to do it on. I go, what do you mean they want to do it on one day? No, I'm going to fly to their house and hang out, take them out to dinner
yeah, and,
in my
and
private Learjet, my helicopter. Yeah, I'd be like, what's his name? The guy that the billionaire guy. I'd be like, yeah, no problem. Sure, I'll go over there and hang out with him. Yeah, but things happen for a reason. And I think that if, uh, unfortunately, knowing my habits, I think that if I had made a lot of success in the 80s, I might not even be alive anymore because there'd have been so many distractions and things that probably would have killed me. Drinking, blow, or whatever. And so I'm kind of glad that it didn't happen. So what it did is it made me appreciate life more. And I think, being where I'm at now, and the success that I have had, the small luxuries I do have, and living a daily life has made me more appreciative than being a billionaire because it's more simple. I love going to the grocery store on my own. You know what I mean? And then, although every time I go, never fails. Hey, you're James from Hellstar. Okay, here we go. That's why I stopped going to Walmart in lounge pants and looking like I just woke up. So now when I go to a Walmart, I'm not stage attired, but I make sure I look representable.
Yeah.
And my girlfriend said, "We're just going to fucking HEB grocery store. What the hell's wrong with you?" And I'm like, well, I'll never forget that one time I went to Walmart at 7 in the morning because I was out of toothpaste and I'd stayed up partying all night. And I went into that Walmart with thongs, shorts hanging down my ass. I looked like a homeless guy. And this guy started following me around through all the aisles. And I kept going, what's up with this guy? Like, I'm all on coke and I'm all paranoid. And I keep going, what the hell? So finally I go, hey man, do I know you or something? He's like, you're James from Hellstar. I go, oh yeah. He goes, oh dude, grabs his phone. All right. He posts it on Facebook, and I look like I just got out of jail, like that picture of, oh my God. And I'm like, dude, I had the message. I go, please take that down. So I learned my lesson. I won't even go to McDonald's unless I'm wearing at least black jeans and a black shirt, you know. Yeah.
That's too funny.
While you're talking about Nosferatu album, you have some sound bites from Nosferatu out from this to 1979. I got this like special like VHS double tape
Oh,
back in the day, but you use some of that, and I just was wondering with the new Nosferatu out there, I imagine that you had to go and seen it in the theater, and
yes,
I was
of
just
course.
wondering what did you think of it compared with the original and then the 79 remake? I was just wondering
You
what you thought
know,
of it.
I was expecting a little more, to be honest. I thought it turned too much into a romantic story. It didn't have enough horror, you know. Um, but I got to watch it again because what happened is when I saw it, I ordered it on, from the TV for $20 instead of going to see it at the movies, which I should have did.
Mhm.
But you have a choice. But nowadays, when you think about it, when new movies come out, you have a choice.
Yeah.
1999, you can see it right now at home. And then you think about, well, what does a movie ticket cost nowadays? $12.
Yeah,
All right, that's $24.
yeah.
And
It's like
then,
it's like
oh,
going to a concert.
yeah, and I want a glass of wine. Well, that's going to be another $10. Well, that's going to be another 20.
Popcorn.
Yeah, because my blow up doll, she's got to have one too. And then, and then by the end of the day, you're like, well, I'm already up to $40. So for
Yeah,
me,
easy.
it's easier to just rent it for $20 here. I got a bottle of wine here and I have some pizza. So I don't have to spend any more money. And that's what happened is I saw it here at the television on TV. And I guess
It,
I didn't
it
get the
it
full
was really
effect.
good in the theater though. The sound in the
Yeah, the
theater was what
sound.
really made
And I
it like
also
so
thought
special.
that the rats was an overkill. It was more about that than it was about the vampire. So if I'm remembering watching it, and I thought that was kind
Yeah.
of because that's not in the book too much. It's
Well, the
meant to be
79 the 79 version has a big plague
of
section.
the
Like
rats.
I thought they exploited a little bit more of the rats and the plague in the 79 one. I thought it was a little
Oh,
bit
okay.
more or maybe a little more clear.
Oh, I'm getting them
But they
confused. You're right, because that was the one that I'm talking about. The rats was a big deal, right?
yeah, in the
But
79.
in this one, I thought it was cool. Um, I don't think that she should have died at the end, but she did. She died with him, but he died, from the sunlight.
I didn't see the movie yet. God damn it.
All right, we're ruining it for you.
Oh,
Sorry,
oh,
man. Yeah.
it's been out long enough now. Come on,
I hate you
how long is it
guys.
It's
been
a
This
out?
3 hour
interview's over.
movie.
Goodbye.
I don't
Yeah,
got
yeah.
3 hours to myself. Come on.
I'm never gonna talk to you again. Yeah, yeah.
Right.
At the
I
end
ain't
of the
buying the new Hellstar album now. Forget it.
Yeah, I was going to, but
You ruined it.
forget it. Yeah, yeah.
at
James ruined it all. Yeah, yeah. It's kind of like that part in Beverly Hills Cops. Okay, everybody out of the pool. Somebody shit in the pool. When you rich guys get all fucked up, you guys fuck up, and somebody shit. Everybody out. Yeah. Party's over. Yeah.
the movie ends with Han Solo dying.
What's that?
But
Shit. I didn't see that one either.
the movie ends with Han Solo dying, so I just ruined it for him.
Yeah. I just ruined it for him. Everybody shit in the pool. Everybody get out. Party's over.
But
We forgot to feed Chewbacca.
I gotta say, man, I love Hellstar. I've been following
Thank
you
you.
forever, but this new one hit me harder than anyone yet. I think it's
Really
unbelievable.
good.
Yeah,
And I'm glad you love it. And every song is very well written. Storylines are great. If you're a Twilight Zone fan, the Staff of Truth is about that episode where the guy lets the devil out. He's held in a cage and he goes into this monastery because he's cold and wet and he's traveling through Europe and he's lost. And they let him in and they trust him and they tell him, whatever you do, do not go into that hall. And what does he do? He goes into that hall. And then the devil's like, hey, help me. I'm a prisoner here. I'm hungry. And they're torturing me, man. And he's like, what? Because he keeps hearing this, oh. So the episode was called The Howling Man. And we were going to actually call the song The Howling Man, but Larry said, that's too much of a giveaway. He goes, The Staff of Truth. Because yeah, the thing was no bigger than a damn toothbrush, but that's what held him in there for some weird reason. Yeah, and the staff of truth. And so, see, Larry's very clever when he writes stuff. And I said, "Oh, that's true." He goes, "Yeah, that little thing that held the cage." And I'm like, "Oh man, yes." And that's how that happened. And then, like I said, if you like Annabelle, The Devil's Masquerade is your song. Stygian Miracles is about Midnight Mass, the Netflix series, where that is the most twisted vampire story ever, Count Ralphus, where the Catholic priest
Yeah.
is the leader of the whole organization.
Yeah.
That is amazing series, right? So that's what that's about.
I just gotta say really quick, this Twilight Zone's my favorite TV show of
Oh
all time.
God, weren't they the
And
best?
October 2nd, I'm going to this thing. It's celebrating the 66th anniversary of Twilight Zone. It's the Rod Sterling television retrospective. It's got Planet of the Apes Twilight Zone Night Gallery, and it's like the Rod Sterling appreciation like group is putting it
Oh,
together.
that's going to be awesome.
As you were talking about that, yeah, and it's in a theater where it's only like $10. Like it's an old theater from
Oh
like the 40s,
man.
I
and
would.
once a month they have creature features there once a month, and they play old
Mm.
classic movies. But they're
The
doing this
creature
as like
from
a
the
special
Black
thing.
Lagoon and yeah, the
I seen that in the
Wolfman.
theater last like a couple months ago. All of them, they've been going through every month. They do a double creature feature at this theater. But I just went off topic because I wanted to talk about Twilight Zone. I
No,
love
no, that's
Twilight
great.
Zone.
Matter of
I,
fact, I watch on Tubi. They have a lot of those old classic monster movie, science fiction movies. The other day, I was like, you know what? I haven't seen The Hideous Sun Demon in years, and I watched it. So guess what?
It's
Yes,
awesome.
it will be on the next record. The
Oh,
story about the
awesome.
hideous
That's a
sun
great
demon.
movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
They
love
were
all the
sort of
rubber
corny,
suit
but at the
monsters.
same time, they weren't. They just kind of fit the times, I guess, in a way. And you know what? I love all
And
the
it,
old Godzilla movies. I don't care if they're fake and you can see the strings and all that stuff, but
oh,
those
those
are classic.
are the best ones. Those
Yeah,
are the best ones.
but those hideous sun demon movies and stuff like that, they have original like stories that they're getting copied over and over again with the later movie
yeah,
makers. They're just copying all this old stuff. They were so much
right.
more original. It might have been corny or a little silly, but so many great original ideas all come from like the early 50s
Exactly.
and
Yeah, especially for
all the
those
old
kind of
shit.
movies. Those were great. But yeah, man, you guys, I really thank you for this. I don't know if you're done or.
Got another like 2 hours. They didn't tell you?
Oh, that's right. Okay, that's it.
We
All
like
right,
Joe
let's take a
Rogan. We
lunch
do like
break.
Joe
Maybe order
Rogan.
a pizza. Yeah, yeah, yeah. My cats are over here fucking tearing up my house because like, dude, it's dinner time. I'm like,
Actually, there was one question in the chat,
yeah,
and
go
they
ahead, man.
wanted to know how you got involved with Vicious Rumors.
Oh, Destiny's Inn and Vicious Rumors played together at this thing called Kalamazoo Metal Meeting, like in the middle of Michigan, in the middle of nowhere. I don't know why this guy chose Kalamazoo, but he did. And it was a lot of bands that he brought. Unfortunately, there was nobody there. But he paid everybody. His name was Brad Youngblood. He was a big metal fan. So he had Destiny's Inn and Vicious Rumors on it. And I met Jeff for the very first time. Matter of fact, we rode home together in the van that night. And we were partying and hanging out. And he got to see me perform. And I think after that, they at that time, I believe they had Brian singing for them. And I guess he went home and reevaluated everything for Vicious Rumors. And then he started thinking, like, okay, I want someone that's going to be a little bit more of a Carl Albert, but no one's ever going to be Carl Albert. That's the problem that band has always faced,
Mm,
you know?
mm.
But when he heard me sing, he said, that's the closest I've ever heard. So he contacted me and he started sending me material. And then I got it and I'd send him little demos back and he'd be like, dude, how would you like to join Vicious Rumors, bro? You know, that's the way he talks. He's a stoner. Yeah, he's real cool. You know what I mean, dude? We could do a lot of damage out there, bro. You know? And so, yeah, so I said, hell yeah, why not? Well, I just got a new record deal, man, and I'd love for you to sing on the record, bro. And I'm like, okay. I said, I'm in, and I'm like, sure, why not? The more the merrier. But I will tell you this much, and one thing he always tells me to this day, and so does Larry Howe, if I hadn't have joined the band at Warball, it would have never brought back the traditional Vicious Rumors. And since then, they have been very successful again. It brought back the real vocal style that fans were looking for. And no, it's not Carl Albert by far, but it is a very traditional Vicious Rumors record with very powerful, aggressive vocals, high vocals, everything you want. And that album, dude, we did 2 European tours, 1 US tour, 1 trip to Japan. We did it all. So I take my hats off to the Vicious Rumors days.
Wow.
And I love Jeff Thorpe. You're taking another bong hit for me while you're at it.
I know. All right,
Yeah.
all right, James. Before we let you go, let's just plug the new album one more time. Where can they purchase it?
Yeah.
Well, it's going to be available tomorrow already worldwide, everywhere. Stores, I guess, online streaming or order it from the catalog. I mean, tomorrow is the official release date. And I think that I'm going to go ahead and get up tomorrow and I'm going to put on some decent black clothes and not wear thongs. I'm going to put on some shoes and I'm going to go to Walmart and go and look under the H section and I hope it's there. It might only be 1 copy, but that would be very impressive because you know what? Vampiro was at Walmart.
Really?
It was 1 copy. Yeah.
Wow. Hmm.
But see, it might depend on area and distribution
Right.
because the bands from Houston, whoever does the distribution for that kind of stuff for all the retail stores is from here and probably like, oh yeah, those guys are big here in Houston, so let me order one. You know what I mean? So I did see Vampiro in Walmart, believe it or not.
Hmm.
And I took a picture of it and I was like, wow, check it out. I mean, I'm at Walmart and this weird guy's follow me and I look like I've been up all night. I don't give a goddamn. So
You gotta
I'm gonna
look
get
at
up
it
tomorrow
3
and go to
3 a.m.
Walmart. Hopefully I see the Devil's Masquerade. And hopefully there's 3 copies, yeah.
Yeah, hopefully that's cool.
Go at 3 a.m. It'll just appear in the
Yeah,
rack
well,
and
the
it's
devil, I
up
gotta go
there.
meet the devil at Walmart and go like, all right, what's going on?
He's probably looking for a
Yeah,
copy.
That should be the concept of the next album, The Devil in Walmart.
Yeah.
Well, James,
Guys, it was a real pleasure, man. You guys were the best. I enjoy hanging out with you. I wish we were actually physically together hanging out, but
Yeah,
one day.
very cool. Yep.
Yeah, totally, man. And it's a
and
great, it's a great thing that what you're doing is keeping true metal alive. We need more people like you. You believe in the stuff, and like I said, heavy metal is not it's not a trend. It's a way of life. It's a religion. It's everything we believe in, and it's always going to be around. And you think after we're dead and gone? No, there's younger bands already doing it just like we used to. So you're never going to get rid of metal. So Taylor Swift, get ready for it. You may as well start playing metal because it's not going to go away. You can get away with being your little pop star thing for so long, but eventually you're going to start going, I need to go hang out with Doro Pesh. Yeah, you do. Because she's the
Yeah,
queen
you've
of
been
metal.
keeping it alive. You're the one keeping it alive. You
Yeah.
definitely keeping it alive. To honor
Yeah,
to be
well, we
on today
try,
with you.
man. Yeah.
I'm glad that you're a lifer, like you were talking about before. How, hey, man, this is what I want to do, and
Yeah.
I'm very glad you're a lifer because you've been releasing the quality metal, and I have, agree with. I think this next album is gonna. It has to, man. It has
Yeah.
to be the
Yeah,
last-
yeah. The Devil's Masquerade has to put us at that tier. Yeah, and I think that right now, because of the reviews, the interviews we're getting, everybody's just loving this record like 10 out of 10. They're like, holy crap, this is the one. That we worked hard 44 years later. I'll take it. Why not? Hey, I'm only 65 now. Well, actually, I'm 6,500 years old, so in Transylvania years. But yeah, in human life, I could actually get the Social Security now, but I wait till 67 for those $300. Yeah, yeah. I love you guys, man. Thank you
Yeah,
so
very
much.
cool.
Thank
Thanks a
you,
lot for
You're
Yeah,
coming
awesome,
on.
man.
man.
Yeah,
Thank you for the
Good
great
luck with
interview.
everything.
Yeah, and big hugs. Yep, that's the way we do it. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Oh, you just bit me. God damn.
I know. Now you're gonna look the same forever again. All of you will. Yes. All right, man. Take
all
care.
right, you take care, man.
Hey, man.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Thank you very
Peace.
much.
Can't wait to get back to Florida.
Yeah, I'll be there. I'll be there.
All right.
Later.
Very cool.
That's awesome.
Nice guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a great dude.
Great dude. Great album too. Very good album. Everybody go out and buy it.
Yeah.
It's all
Great band. They don't have a bad album. There's no bad albums with Hellstar. Every album's worth checking out,
I only got a few so far, but I'm trying to build up my Hellstar collection. So good stuff.
You were talking about how he got into him kind of late, Ralph. I'm surprised. I bought my Burning Star album. I bought this like in '84. They were one of those bands when I always mention how like '84 is like a cutoff point where bands start playing like or start glamming out and following the Motley Crue trend and everything. So I sought out bands like Omen and Jag Panzer and Hellstar and Grim Reaper and all, like that whole like weird era right before I found thrash. So those are the bands that led me easily into like Overkill and Anthrax and then Metallica and Merciful Fate and all that stuff. It kind of like that ladder of metal, but there was that one little like year period where I was listening to like Savatage and like even Armored Saint, like all these like bands, US metal bands that like didn't really have like a big scene and it didn't really explode. And then before you knew it, thrash metal came out, and I didn't really stay up with Hellstar, but everything I listened to going backwards, it like unbelievable. I love it now. I'm gonna get everything that I don't have.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just-
the Hellstar. I might have seen Hellstar in the record stores before I found Distant Thunder. I might have seen it, but I never heard them up till that point. So I did frequent like import album stores and stuff like that sold not your normal that Specs would sell or Coconuts and stuff. And I
It was,
might
I
have,
guess, because it was on combat, everything. Anything that had combat on it, I was like checking out. Like
Mhm.
you couldn't listen to it ahead of time, so like one friend would get one weird album, then you go for something different. And these album covers, they look great. It's like for like a young little 14-year-old metalhead, this looks
Mhm.
evil and shit. And the Remnants of War, I both of them right when they came out.
right on. Well,
Good stuff.
I want to thank you guys. What are we doing next week again, Wayne? Who are we having?
Oh, Cal
Vincent
Ralphus
Crowley.
knows. No, we have that guy. A Charon.
Yeah,
How do you say
Vincent
that?
Crowley.
Band? Oh, that's his name. Okay. All right.
Acheron, Vincent Crowley. Acheron's a legendary band. They go way back. Early '90s, put out their first album. Florida band. He used to have these debates with that guy in Florida. The freaking I sent you guys the video
Yeah, I
of it,
can't
but I
remember
don't
what
know
the
if
hell
you
his name
watched it.
was. No.
Bill something or whatever. The preacher, evangelist guy that made all this money down in Florida. He would tour with Slayer and just like try to make people like afraid that their kids were falling for Satan and all this stuff. Legendary things. Glenn Benton used to do like interviews with him too, and the guys from Acheron, and real evil. They've been around for so long, and they got so many albums. Now he also has another band called Vincent Crowley Band, and on that flyer from last week, Hellstar was actually supposed to play with Asheron. Asheron was like the headliner for that night, but the guy Vincent had to have an emergency surgery like that week, just a couple of weeks ago, and he couldn't play. And then the next night that I was down there, Vincent Crowley Band was playing the second night,
Mm.
and he had to cancel both bands, but he was going to do both bands over the weekend. But yeah, it's really legendary band, really great, awesome death metal sounding, but like black metal lyrics, real evil shit. It's awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. First time I heard it from it, so it was pretty good. I liked it so far. So good
So
stuff.
tune in
They got a
next.
ton of albums.
Tune in next week. It'll be very interesting.
Yeah, and soon we're gonna do the Manowar episode. It might be the Thursday after, maybe, because Jackson Rowdy hit me up, but I haven't written them back yet, because you're already booked for next week. But I'll see if he can do the week after that,
All right.
or whenever he can. Because this time I ain't going to the hospital. God damn it!
I hope not.
Yeah.
Gotta stop those visits.
Anyway, thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank
Hey,
you.
wait,
Thanks for having me.
Did you finish your Vangina episodes already?
We were supposed to finish yesterday, but two people couldn't do it, so we're gonna finish next week. So
What a nightmare.
last week was a nightmare, yes. And listening to Van Halen 3, I thought would have been a nightmare, but I actually kind of like that album a little bit. And
wow.
yeah, it's not that I like Punishment, so it wasn't that bad. And I really like the next album, the last album. What the hell is it called?
Different kind of truth.
Yeah, that one's cool. That one's good all the way through.
Wolves.
Yeah.
That album.
I love that album. That's like the
That
best
was the album that you
by any
needed.
of those bands.
It might be.
Right.
It may be the heaviest Van Halen album, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
That's the album
Yep.
that everybody needed, and I'm glad that's the album that they finished on, because that was the one that sounded like Van Halen, like we remember from the
Yeah,
80s.
it's one of the best high point albums of all time for a band. I always thought Rush is up there, but I think the Van Halen album's like the best ending album for a long legacy band like that.
Yeah.
That album, like when it came out, compared to like what Maiden was doing at the time, Judas Priest even, and so like they sounded more like they just like it would have been right after 1984's album, or even maybe
Exactly.
right before 1984's album. It could have.
Right.
And I want to mention really quick is I got this that giant Iron Maiden book that we did
Ah.
with Martin Popoff and talked about, but
Yep.
it's like a $60-something book. But right now on Amazon, it's like $40, and it's like free shipping. So
Okay,
it seemed
cool.
like
Yeah.
for the hardcover version, if anybody's interested, you
I
get
might
that
have to grab that then, because
a lot cheaper than it was.
I got to get Martin back on the show. I
Mhm.
usually wait for a book he's going to release. I go, hey, let's come on the show and talk about that book and that band.
well, it's hard for him now because now he can't really ship any books to the United States, and with all the tariff things and stuff. So I think he's kind
But
of
you could get it. You could get everything on. You can get it on Amazon. It doesn't like I just got this from Amazon.
No, I know,
free
but
shipping.
I think from
And
now on, like
big heavy
anything
books.
new, I think like anything new that he's gonna do, you're not gonna be able to get it. Or I don't even think he's doing it.
All he's got to do is move to America.
That's honestly the only thing he's got to do. Well, why would you want to live in Canada
Just
anyway?
sneak
You know,
them.
Yeah, I heard over in Canada, if you're a dick, they throw you in jail. That's
Well, this was like this is like his heaviest book, but his newest book, the Deep Purple one's supposed to be even like I don't know, like 50 pages more or 100 pages more. It's supposed to be his biggest book is the next Deep Purple book.
a lot of reading. I have a problem with reading. Not that I can't read. It's just that's a big book. I can't sit down for a 3-hour movie. I don't know if I could sit down and read that book. As soon as I open a page, I just doze off. I can't read.
You just got to leave it in the bathroom, and then you read it 5 pages here, 5 pages there. That's how I get through them. I don't just sit there and fucking sit in a rocking chair reading. It's when I'm in the toilet, man. That's when I get it done.
Sometimes I will read a book about a band and play their whole discography while I'm reading the book.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I do it all the time, especially the Martin Popoff album by album series. I do it all the time like that. I'll listen to it outside while I'm reading the book outside for a little bit,
Bob says Canada's not a real country anyway, and Catman's from Canada. Sorry, Catman.
Canada, it's nothing but nice people there. That's why Sebastian Bach moved out of there. Because he's a prick.
What was that whole story? They
See
said
him-
that that woman was gonna give him wanted a hug from him or something, but then the real story came out. I didn't really read it. Did anybody read about that?
I don't care. He's a
He's got to save his vocals, man. He can't be getting all hugged up by some stranger while he's getting ready for his concert.
he figured, man, damn, I'm Sebastian Bach. If I stay here, I'm gonna get arrested because I'm a prick. That's why he left Canada. A lot of people don't know that. Sebastian Bach. That's what I call him. Anyway, that's it for this exciting Almost Human Live episode. I want to thank the Almost Humanoids. That's what you guys are called, by the way. You're the Almost Humanoids.
Yeah,
Ah,
Wayne,
I like it.
Count Ralphus. The other Almost Humanoid got a free ticket to go see Scab Pantera tonight.
yeah, what a poser.
Yeah,
And hey, I saw Scab Pantera for free as well. Because I wouldn't pay to see that shit.
It's the only way to see it.
Yeah, for free. If it's for free, it's for me.
Mhm.
Yeah. All right, everybody. So thank you for watching. And schmack 'em a gob.
Goodbye.